Welcome back to the Tech Convo Podcast with me, your host, Chims. Today on the podcast, I've got a guest with me, and we are going to have an interesting conversation. So his name is Kateule Musonda, and I'll just let him introduce himself. Kateule, welcome to the Tech Convo Podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Bart. I really appreciate it. Like he said, my name is Kateule Musonda, and I'm a founder of the Unilas AI community, as well as CEO and Executive Director of Everything AI, which is more of a subsidiary of a company known as Everything Online, which provides social media marketing and web development. Yeah, thanks. I'm really happy to be here.
Yes, and when we speak of students who are doing amazing things, we've got one example right here with us. Because Kateule is the CEO and Executive Director of Everything AI, which is one company that is really playing a big role in the tech space and AI space of exam-dachi. So today's conversation will be mainly on Agentic AI, which is something that I feel like it's a very important topic for us to speak on today, because we are living in a time where people's knowledge of AI is limited to chatbots. Yes. So us talking about Agentic AI will be an eye-open as well as an information opener for a lot of people. So as we just get started, for somebody who is hearing the term Agentic AI for the first time, how would you describe it?
Yeah, that's really a big question, because going into like late 2025, Agentic AI is in a buzzword. Everyone's talking about Agentic AI and Agentic systems.
Yes.
And what are these Agentic systems? So just maybe give like a brief overview of what Agentic systems are. So basically, before I answer that question, you think about a large language model, you think about ChatGPT, think about Claude.
Yeah.
One thing that stands out is that they are the most static. You ask a question, the prompt based, then you give you feedback. So you ask a question, then it processes your question and gives you a response.
Yes.
So it answers a question based on, information or data it's been trained on.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's where Agentic AI comes in with the difference. So for Agentic AI, it doesn't really wait. Of course, it takes in prompts.
Yes.
But then it acts on its own. So I define Agentic AI as a model or an AI that thinks for itself, and then it acts based on the prompt, then it just makes a decision by itself. So you don't really have to give it, it doesn't have to wait for the human in the loop. It doesn't really wait for you to ask questions. Then
Yes.
Exactly. So they are more of task-based, task-oriented and goal-oriented. So you give it a role, say you give it a task, okay, I want you to book me a flight.
Yes.
Then it to find the plane, check your calendar.
Yes.
And then, give you feedback. That's more of agentic. But how does it do this? So, like one of my colleagues once said that, the best AI systems or the best agents won't be the biggest. It will be the smartest, So if my AI or my agent can, book me a flight, check in with my calendar, you just send me an email, make the payments. Of course, we haven't really reached that for our agency is able to make payments for us. Exactly. But then what that simply tells you is that agents are, something to talk about. And as I said earlier, so one thing that makes up agents, if someone is hearing for the first time, it's basically, it needs to be able to reach out, of course, to the airport, right? So that's real world information. And that's using what is known as RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation, in real time, getting real information, and also using the LLM, for example, using ChatGPT as a brain to think. So what agents do is it's going to reach out to firstly, the airport using RAG.
Yeah.
This can be using, a website, documents that have been, put in.
Yes.
There, yeah, and then to reach out to the airport, and then to get, retrieve information about the airport. Then send that information, for example, to ChatGPT, which is the brain. Then ChatGPT thinks through and then sends the feedback, back to you using, of course, like a chatbot and everything. So
Yes.
Yeah, that's more how I would define agents.
Okay. And it's pretty interesting. But then I would also want to ask you a question. Do you think we are ready to give full autonomy to AI? Because here what we are talking about is I'm not using the AI system to help me look for flights that are available, but I'm actually using it to book a flight for me on my behalf. So are we at a position where we can fully trust AI to be autonomous and make decisions on our behalf?
That's a good question. I really don't know, but I would answer that with the classic, it depends.
Yes.
Why am I saying, why am I saying it depends? Because it really depends on your use cases. For example, let's say, full autonomy is really a huge theme at the moment. And then I can't say we can give them, I'll answer that in two ways. We can and we can't. So I'll say first, we can for, basic tasks, repetitive tasks. For example, booking me a meeting. Let's say, like I was scheduled for this appointment. Try this. Yeah. So I would put it on my calendar saying, okay, on the 30th, I'll be having a podcast with the Tech Convo, colleagues. I'm having a podcast. So I'll put that in my calendar, and then it's going to send you messages. I can let that happen. I can let it be fully autonomous because that's just a simple task, which is booking me a meeting, scheduling the time, sending me reminders where I'm supposed to be at what time. Yeah, so that's a small task. And I don't really want always to be checking my calendar. I want something reminding me. Of course, nothing is wrong with Google, like Google Calendar does that. But then if I have a basic agent that can send you an email on my behalf, and confirm that okay, I'll be there on time, or send you a WhatsApp message, and confirm that I'll be there on time, then I have definitely no problem with letting it be fully autonomous. But then if we talk about on a larger scale, for example, if let's say let's think of a bank, right? Yes. Let's say customer service. Banks want to implement agentic AI or agents in customer service. Firstly, of course, when you look at the RIO, which is a return on investment, it's a good decision. But then we can't let them be fully autonomous. Yes, actually, because of number one, policies. What are the bank policies? What are the restrictions? What exactly do you want to let the agentic AI be autonomous about? Yeah, exactly. And then I also think of your personal life. Do you think you would really let AI, hand your credit card right now? No. Exactly. Because that's something you want to be engaged in. So, okay, you really want to know. So we can still let it be autonomous, but not fully, by using what is known as human in the loop. Yes. So human in the loop is basically where, let's think of a code editor, right? Yes. Let's say anti-gravity, the new that Google released, or Kesa or WinSafe. Yes. Right. If I'm writing code, let's say in anti-gravity, I'm like on the technical aspect, I'll write code, and then I'll go and let's say maybe agent manager, then I'll be writing code. So it will write maybe a whole front end page, right? A whole web page. You need to ask me, okay, do you like this? So I have to accept exactly. So I can't let it be fully autonomous. Same with my card. I can let it, let's say, I can let it pick, I can let it pick things. For example, I want to buy something online on eBay, right? Yes. I can let it add things to my cart. I can let it, choose what I like, because of course it's going to be trained on my information. It knows me. Yes. So let it add things to my cart, or let it, choose what I want. I'll let it search for the newest products. Yeah. Exactly. But then I have to make the payment. I have to confirm the payment. I'm not letting it confirm the payment. What if I let it confirm the payment and it picked the wrong size or the wrong color? So there's those restrictions that we need to still, work on. Then once that's done, I think we can consider full autonomy.
Yes, and that's a good breakdown, because from what you've just explained, there are tasks that we can really give to AI.
Exactly.
And let it do for us. Exactly. I would give you gave an example of this podcast session that we are having, and on my end as well, I would say I can let AI do a search for me on who's the next guest that can come on the podcast.
Exactly.
It can even reach out on my behalf, and then later on, give me information like, okay, we've set a meeting with this guest on such a day. Exactly. And then I can confirm if the day is available or not, and then we proceed with the podcast. That's a really good way to look at it. So we're talking about agentic AI, and then you talked of bugs. And a lot of businesses at this point are kind of adopting agentic AI in their workflows. Mm-hmm. So can you explain to us a simple AI workflow from like setting up goals to action? How does the AI agent work through this?
Okay, yeah. That's a really good question. And one thing that I should say is, for like the way AI is working, right? You need data. You need to feed it on certain information, and the best use case for AI and AI workflows, before I answer the question, is basically what is the task? What task are you solving? So you need to identify first of all what are the most repetitive tasks. Like for example, here you should definitely implement AI, like basic AI, agentic AI, because you're always looking for, let's say, guests to come on the podcast. Guests are reaching out. So if you can set up a workflow, for example, let's say you build an agent, maybe let's say based off Copilot, and then add a RAG system to it, why it's able to go on the internet or go on LinkedIn, connect it to LinkedIn, and then let it reach out to speakers, people on there, let it surf profiles who on the LinkedIn profile have got the keyword speaker, public speaker, and then you implement that in your workflow. So you first of all think about how do you first reach out to a guest? What's the normal process? Yes, exactly. So you need to identify what your physical manual process is, and then just imagine it, how you can automate it online. I'll give you an example. No, I'm coming to a question. Yes, an example. Let's say I have still, let's say, in a gated compound, right?
Yes.
And then every morning, what do? I have to go, drive out of my car, drive out of my car, right? Yes. Then get out of the car, open the gate, drive out, and then close the gate. Exactly, that's manual. But automation is where I just drive out, press remote, the gate opens, I don't even have to step out.
Yes.
So that's a basic and most, and that idea, that concept has been there for a long time, even before agentic AI, even before AI was called AI, it was machine learning, it was deep learning.
Yes.
But then automation was there. So there are a lot of processes so someone thought and said, oh, I think this is always wasting time, and it's so good. So the bookings, you always have to drop out.
Yes.
Open the gate, to close the gate. So they came up with an automated way of, sending a signal to the let's say the receiver of the gate, and it opens and whatnot. So that's basically how you identify or how you implement agentic AI workflows.
Yes.
So yeah, I think I have answered the question, because it gives you one way that you can basically, should I say, implement a workflow is from the start, identify what are the most repetitive tasks
that you do.
Exactly. That you always do every day. So let's give the case of a bank, right?
Yes.
So in a bank, what's the one thing that the bank always does every time? Let's say customer queries, right?
Yes.
Exactly. They talk to customers every day.
Every single day.
They send out emails to the client. So we think about that process. How do they do it manually, And then now think of how you can replace that task with an agent. Exactly. So if you want to come up with an agentic workflow, you have to get started. The basic way is identify the mundane tasks, the tasks that are done every day repetitively, and then from there, now automate it. Think. So you need to now choose what agent works best for you, what brain can you use. Are you going to fine tune the model? Are you going to use RAG for your model? And then basically just understand how exactly you would implement an AI system. Like I said in the example earlier, for this podcast that you run, is an amazing thing that you're doing. It basically first we identify what is it that we do every day. Every time, we find new speakers to come on the podcast. We engage them. How do you engage them? Send them LinkedIn messages. Exactly. So identify that process. Find a model that you can use that works best. Like maybe this is Llama 3, which is like open source model.
Yes.
Exactly. Use Llama 3. Build on that brain. Train it on your past podcasts that you've had. Who's the target audience exactly? You can feed it on that data. Train it on that particular data. And then, add like a RAG, set a bit like RAG on it, why it's now able to go out. So you just give it a prompt. Okay, find us maybe, 5 speakers for this week. So to go on LinkedIn, reach out to speakers, send them messages, check your calendar for available dates.
Yes.
And then, book a date with them, and then, confirm, and then just send it, okay, I have this client that is not coming on the podcast, and then, we can have them on this particular date, and they've confirmed. Yeah, so I think that's the basic workflow that you can, you can go for like a more practical use case. Yeah.
So as you are explaining everything, the one question that's on my mind is, why haven't we been doing this? Why are we suffering? Yeah, that's a good question, and I can see a lot of use cases. Like, it's pretty much everyone. A person who owns a shop, they need agentic AI workflows. They need to automate their tasks. It's everyone, like a person who teaches, doctors, like literally every person. You've got the question, someone. Yeah.
I don't know if people can hear me right now.
Yeah.
But just to cut in and just ask.
Yes.
Using or letting AI use itself, it being autonomous. Yes. How does that work out when it comes to, maybe you're obviously coming to this, but I'll give an example of, let's say we've grown to be this #1 podcast in Zambia.
Yeah.
We've employed people that are looking for guests for us.
Yeah.
And then that scenario happens where we just create, a system that does the work for us.
Yeah.
How then does the person stay in the loop?
Yeah.
Are they just cut off? Is it like, or is there a way they can learn something new to keep their job, or at least keep a job?
Okay. Yeah, that's really a good question, and one of the stigmas that a lot of people have. One of the greatest fears is I'll lose my job. But then I give you an example of I'm coming to your question, right? You're an example of someone who works in a bank, right?
I know for most things, and I'm just trying to see it in this case. I know for those things, maybe with design, I do design. I'm a visual designer, so with design, maybe would do maybe image generation, pictures. But then for now, instead of me taking the camera and then going to get a picture for me to use on my design, I would generate it. So I had to learn how to generate that.
Exactly.
So then, in this case, are there any other ways someone can still keep their job? Because that is something I know they can learn how to prompt and all that, but then there's also you that's there. Like, you can just do that, and like, why do I need you when I can just prompt it myself? Yes.
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. And there's really a lot of, should I say, available resources out there. Of course, if you want to pay for some, you can do some on Coursera. Google got free courses. Microsoft has got free courses. Like, also, if you want to, localize more and then learn and keep yourself updated with, like most of this information, you can check out our courses that you have at everything, everything AI.
Yeah.
And then we do have, financial literacy courses. AI at AI literacy courses that we usually have, and then we train people in prompt engineering, how to use these tools, best use cases, and then we also have something coming up known as the AI Literacy Month. We'll have a whole month dedicated to just AI literacy and people learning new tools, and then also learning what they need to know about artificial intelligence. Yeah, so to answer that question, I think people should just look out more for learning AI, available resources, and not just sit back and worry. Like the old saying goes, or the the new buzzword that people are actually using now is AI won't replace humans; it replaces humans that's not using AI. So you need to really get involved, learn stuff, and then just look out for the local and available resources like everything AI that we have. And then we'll be able to actually just be able to help out and people understand and learn AI, because it's a new electricity. AI is like electricity, it's a general purpose technology. It's going to be used in different aspects. It's going to be used in medicine. It's going to be used in agriculture. It's actually being used.
Yes, notice going.
Yeah, exactly. Being used in agriculture, being used in medicine, being used in technology, for coding, and and then also just I think my advice would just be learn AI.
Yeah.
Exactly. Learn the basic concepts, learn prompt engineering, because prompt engineering is basically the art of speaking precisely to these models.
Yes.
Even when coming up with workflows or giving an instruction to an agent, you have to be precise. So yeah, prompting doesn't really go away either verbally or by typing it out.
Yes. Talking about prompting, I've noticed people are now using ChatGPT to be their prompt engineer. Where you tell ChatGPT to write for you a prompt that you end up using on another AI platform. So
Yeah.
do you think it's still necessary for people to learn how to prompt?
Oh yeah, I actually do that myself. But it is actually good to learn prompt engineering. My recommendation would be ChatGPT. Of course, you will use this very intelligent model,
Yes.
But of course, as you use ChatGPT, you need to learn prompt engineering, simply because it's all about prompt engineering is a precision art.
Yes.
It's about you giving an instruction precisely. Use ChatGPT exactly.
Yes.
So if, let's say, I go up with a vague prompt like if I was to go on ChatGPT and say, okay, where in Zambia can I find maybe, let's say, the Tech Convo Podcast, or where are they found?
Yes.
It will lie, actually. It will lie, because it's programmed to give you a response. So is seldom does it say I really don't know where to find them, or to send a link to a YouTube channel. Depending on how you've done your SEO. But in most cases, to just end up lying. And so that's why you need to be able to understand. Should I say? Basic prompt engineering skills, and then master the ACT framework. What does that mean? Give it a persona. Okay, maybe act as a digital, marketer, or someone who's about to look for, information.
Yes.
And then you give it a context. What do you want to find? Then assign it a task. Tasks are simple. Is it create, generate, summarize? Yeah. And then also one thing. My best use case for using one module to write me a prompt is when I'm vibe coding.
Yeah, especially vibe coding.
Exactly. So with vibe coding, not necessarily where I erase the code, but using platforms like Bot or Lovable.
Yes.
Especially with Lovable. So if I don't want to use, tokens or credits,
Yeah.
what I usually do is I'll go in Gemini, of course, applying prompt engineering, and then I'll write prompt for whatever I want to build, maybe be it like a website, be it a function, and then I build my prompt in Gemini, because I can have a good conversation, and then that's just to save tokens and credits if I don't really want to
prompt a load.
exactly. Then I get whatever my response is. Then I go with it in Lovable still or no in the plan mode, because plan doesn't let you really use any credits. If it's in Lovable, then you can put them there, and then that would be better. That's my best use case for using one module to write me a prompt. But best then I just write the prompts myself, because I'm a prompt trainer. So I apply what I train people, and then I advise them to actually just learn prompt engineering, and it's really going to do you good, because it gives you a better understanding them of what you want to build than where you just give ChatGPT to write you a prompt, to give Gemini, give Claude to write you a prompt. And then what that does is that you won't really understand what's being done. But if you can write the prompt yourself, you won't even have those back and forth conversations.
Yes. I think someone has got another question.
Oh yes. So don't know if I'm audible, but you said something about using AI to write another prompt, and then you responded with something like it's not entirely very good.
Yeah.
I just remembered something, and I thought I should say it. So there's a person who was using AI to identify flaws in something, and here's one thing I realized about doing that is that that's what you're typing in. Like, you're asking it to find flaws, and it will find flaws even though that thing is like 99%. Yeah, it will change. It will lie to you if it has to, but the thing is, it needs to find a prompt, because that's what you've told it. So that's one thing I noticed. And then what's the other thing I wanted to ask? Can you give a use case of you typing in a prompt that is specific or tailored to your need, and is just any example? I know this is sort of generic, but an example that makes it different from how everyone else is doing it out there. I know if I wanted to generate
an example of a good prompt.
I get your question.
And an example of a good prompt. Yeah, just so people appreciate how much this is important, and they come to you to dig it, to dip it, if you want more.
So that's a very good question. I love how the conversation is going. So when you talk about a good prompt, there's a vague and a bad prompt.
Yes.
So let's say a bad prompt would be hi. Okay, most people don't say hi. We'll not use model, but
we say hi so that they don't turn on us.
Except
I do, just in case. Anything in
it's really continuous. But a bad prompt would be generate me an image of, let's say, generate me a flyer. Just say generate me a flyer.
Yeah.
Or generate me a poster. Or generate for me, should I say, you run, I'm sure you run social media pages, right?
Yes.
You say generate a LinkedIn post. You just had we just had a guest. His name is Kateule Musonda, and the CEO of Everything AI. So generate me a summary of our podcast. I mean,
how does it know?
Exactly. That's a bad prompt. But what's a good prompt? You can say after the social media manager, that's a persona.
Okay.
So by doing that, what does that mean? It means that it's going to restrict everything it's doing in like SEO, search engine optimization.
Yes.
And it's going to act as a social media manager and a professional. So you can even say act as an expert.
Yeah.
Social media manager. And we just had a podcast, and this was our guest. So you go to the A is the persona.
Yes.
It acting as the social media manager. Then you go to the context. What was the conversation about? We had conversation about agentic AI. We talked about prompts. So you give him exactly what was spoken about. And then what's the other thing? You give more context to say, this was maybe a length of 1 hour podcast. So I want you to write me, a summary of this podcast. Based on the information that I've given you.
Yes.
Give it a context. Or write me, should I say, a 50 character post of a post under 500 characters, and then you give it a task to say write. So basically, a good prompt is where you are precise with exactly what you want, and a bad prompt is why it's vague, like write a post or generate an image. What do you mean generate an image? There are a lot of images out there. Saying to be precise, generate an image maybe of a dog. Is it a black dog? Is it a white dog?
Yes.
That's what most people leave out. They want to go in and expect. Actually, that was me. Exactly, to know what I want.
Yeah.
I'd go in and say, okay, yeah, because it's AI, I should know what I'm talking about.
And then you become upset.
When you start having that back and forth conversation, answer it, wasting time. Exactly. AI is a tool. It's like a magician. It's not a genie. And the genie is, you rub the lamp and whatever, and then it's going to, you just wish for something and it gives you. Of course, it can be used as a genie with the right prompt. So learn prompt engineering and AI can become a genie that gives you anything that you want.
Okay.
But yeah.
Very good. That's a very profound answer. I'm really learning a lot here. I'm sure people who are not seeing my face right now are also learning a lot. So what did I want to ask? My apologies for the I'm just trying to restructure my question. Yes. How would you, so for someone, I know everyone can prompt, right? And I'm not trying to give a crash course for everyone. Guys, you know where to go. You go to Everything AI when you want to learn these things vastly and in a more professional way. So I'm just trying to help us understand here. How would a person, so I'm trying to generate or type a prompt, right? But then I'm not knowledgeable about what I'm trying to prompt. What would you advise should be my first step? I want to, I know AI can help me.
Yes.
So what should be my first step as opposed to, okay, because that takes away from me just pulling up with my generate an image of a third person without, just going into the specifics. I obviously need specifics, but for me, I can't do specifics because I don't know what that token is supposed to look like.
Okay, exactly. Yeah, that's a really good question, and I have had at least several like similar questions on one of the training that we've had. And one thing that you need to first understand is what exactly do you want to do. So it starts with you as the human. That's why there's a term human in the loop. So it starts with you. You are you're the one giving the instruction. So we need to understand what is it that you're looking for. If you really don't understand what you're looking for, you can do a search, and then you can approach the prompting with what we call as it's like human in the loop, but we call it the loop. So it's a technique.
Yes.
So what do we mean by loop technique? So basically, I'll go in let's say Gemini, right? That's my favorite model currently because of all the good use cases I can use. I can create Gemini bots. I can create personalized assistants for free in Gemini.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, and of course it's not the question, but you just go basically. You open your Gemini, go on Gemini Gems on the side.
Yeah.
And you open your gems there, you basically see pre-made Gemini gems. You can just go create your own gem. So yeah, you can try that out after the podcast. Really, that's really a good thing. Then give it instructions. It's really, it's really just simple. Everything is right there. Give it instructions. Give it, yeah, we can talk about it after the podcast.
Sure.
But then, so to answer the question, you can go in a loop. So say you tell Gemini, okay, act as, let's say, a brainstormer. Help me brainstorm. Help me come up with ideas. But what I want you to do is I want you to ask me questions based on what I want. So that really sounds like it doesn't work, but you do. So you go in Gemini, tell it, okay, this is my idea, but I don't know anything. So ask me questions and let's build together. So that's a loop. So
brainstorming.
Exactly. So it will ask you, okay, let's say you want to talk about, a podcast conversation, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. You've got someone who's knowledgeable about a lot of things, but you don't know what exactly to pick. Yes. Exactly. So you give it that prompt, say, help me brainstorm. This is a person I have, and this is our field. So what do you think we should do? It will ask you questions. Okay, what is your goal? It will ask you questions. Then you keep answering questions. Then you tell it, don't stop asking me questions until I'm satisfied with what I want. So it will help you brainstorm, help you build ideas, help you make concepts from there, and then that's just on LLMs, and the ChatGPT. But I'm talking about agents and Agentic AI.
I like that. So it's basically like a human in the loop, but there's also, it's like AI also. So it's like it's a canvas or a bucket where like you put yourself in there and then you're throwing AI in there also, and then you find
instead of being AI as an assistant, AI as a partner, where you build together with the AI and what you want.
From the Bible, countless reason to get.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
So yeah, so definitely what he's talking about is something that we all need to start investing in. But because AI, agentic AI workflows can really be helpful. Because just from the conversation we're having right now, I really thought of agentic AI and introducing it in our process as we plan the podcast, as well as to the point of us generating questions for the guests and stuff like that. And what you're really talking about is something that I feel like we are going to start implementing right away. But then for somebody who is, I know that from your perspective, you can pretty much say, these are simple things, but people really need to learn. So how do they like reach out to you at Everything AI, especially for business organizations or even individuals that want to now start implementing agentic AI into their systems?
Yeah, so right now we took down our websites, like both of them, because we are, should I say, we're launching it with, of course, Agentic AI. We intend to launch it. So on the website we have we have bought our bot called Everything AI, because it knows everything about AI. So it's getting trained on almost all the information about out there. So it's been powered by should I say, it's going to be more of an agentic system powered by different models. It's going to be powered by Llama, of course, it's an open source model.
Yes.
Powered by Gemini Pro, and also, should I say, Copilot. So it's going to work let's say, in the more, in the workflow where the RAG gets information, let's say, out there, and then feeds it to one model, the next model is more of a it hasn't been done yet mostly, but it's more of a multi-system agentic AI, using different models. Yeah, exactly. And so that's why we took it on our website, but it should be relaunched, I think, by 10th February.
Okay.
We'll have our website up and running, and then Everything AI will be there, and of course also Everything Online, which is a parent company. Another way that you can reach out to us is via my business line, which is +260 971 6680. Then you can send us a WhatsApp. We'll be able to respond from there and interact. But look out for our website launch on the 10th of February, where we will fully be going live and back on air. And then besides that, like I mentioned earlier, you can reach out via our email, which is of course everythingai@gmail.com, or mostly WhatsApp, and then even just email us or reach out to our LinkedIn. You'll find most of our profiles there at Everything AI and Kateule Musonda. So they can definitely find me there, and then we can talk business and also just the trainings in general. Yes.
And I would recommend them, because even if you want to bring a training to your organization or company, you do conduct trainings, right? Or like institutions. Yes. So this would be something that, from what I've gotten here, I think we need implementation of AI agentic workflows in our businesses and different things that we do. So this is someone who's listening right now, because when we are talking of technical, I know we haven't gone technical in this podcast, this for years, but when people just hear AI, most people usually think it's something that is super, super complicated. And then now we are bringing in agentic AI, and they're like, oh, this is not the ChatGPT or the Grok or the Gemini that I know. So where do I really start from? So what would be a first step for somebody getting into agentic AI right now for the first time? How would they start?
Well, for me, like I said earlier, the best way someone can get into agentic AI is based by the research.
Yeah.
You can do some research around LangChain, Langsmith, LangGraph. Those are basic workflows that don't need any coding, experience.
Yes.
Of course, you will need to have basic fundamentals in IT, like, let's say, doing a flowchart. Why do you need to learn how to do a flowchart? Simply because how are you going to map out your workflow? How do you know what you want your agent to do? A lot of people go a different direction, but for me that works well, because if I can draw a flowchart, I'm able to determine, if my agent, let's say, is supposed to book me, let's say, maybe a flight, or supposed to order me breakfast, how does it know, if, basic if-else statements, if
Yes.
this is not available, then else do this, those are basic things. And also just read about, agentic AI, listening to people like Andrew Ng, who are pioneers in, agentic AI.
Yeah.
Listen to those people. Also just, look out for posts on Medium. People post on Medium, even here in Zaldia.
Yes.
People post on Medium. You get to read more about agentic AI, read about workflows. Learning basics about MCP. RAG. Fine tuning. Just the basics about models, and then learn how you can now build from there. That's the best. The best way is, of course, YouTube. There's a lot of free information on YouTube out there. You can listen to podcasts. And then also just get interested in the technology, because definitely it's emerging and it's coming to stay.
Yes.
As everyone has put it. So listen to people who are pioneering that particular field, of course, locally and internationally. That will really help you to get started. But like I said, check out LangGraph, agentic AI frameworks and whatnot. that will really help you to get started, because if you do some research on agentic AI, even just read what is agentic AI, how are they implemented, how they work, what are the use cases, what and implement them. By reading more, I think you'll be able to build more of agentic AI.
So, what about for a very non-technical person? So for them, they just need to find people that can like implement it for them.
Well, not really. I think with AI, that has really changed a lot. One of our vision that everything AI also is to bridge the gap between technical and non-technical people.
Yes.
That's also similar with this year's theme where we're building AI literacy. So our goal is not to work with people in the tech industry because they really know what's going on.
Yes.
Our goal is to bridge the gap between the lawyers, to bridge the gap between the people in MEG. It's like bridge the gap between the teachers, primary school teachers, high school teachers, lecturers, people who are non-technical. So that's actually our target. If you're a non-technical person, feel free to reach out to us. That's our aim to train people. So for someone who really doesn't know any technical stuff, they can use, of course, if you want to prototype an app, they can use Lovable, write a prompt in Lovable, and then it will build you something, then get that Lovable project, connect it to a two-code Replit. With Replit, you can deploy, systems, and then, for free. And then, they can be out there, like at, we recently had orientation at Unilas, where we partnered with Unilas AI. So with Unilas AI community, we had, it's more of its orientation. So once days to interact. So what did we do? And then we were told, short notice, we can come through. So I just simply went on, it is Google AI Studio.
Yeah.
And then I built this, how you play bingo, right?
Yeah.
Like we got different cards, people get to interact and then cross out things. So I went and got that same idea, which is, being a studio on paper. Then I got that idea, went to Google AI Studio. And I just wrote a prompt. They said I want to do. It generated me an app. I downloaded that app, search on Google AI Studio. You can download the app. You can send it to Git repository. So I just downloaded the app and then went to Replit. Then built it. It got the API, and then people were playing the game the next day. I built it in like 15 minutes.
Huh?
So that's
they are playing.
Exactly. It's actually on my LinkedIn. If you just check that game out and whatnot, so it's really faster way with AI. You can, of course, it's not the most the safest app, but the game, it doesn't collect any information, so there's no risk to it.
And it was only for that specific day, and then
exactly. But now, so actually, we plan to deploy it now.
Deploy it
As a use case of AI, where people can actually use AI for something good, to interact social. People are saying AI is taking social interactions.
Yes.
But
now we are trying to bring in interaction.
We are using that game. So we also plan to deploy it in February. Once we finish now, making it safer as it should be. So it was made for that use case, but performed great for stress testing.
Yes.
It's not collecting any personal information, so it's safe. It's just people you're interacting, scanning a QR code, and then they're able to interact, so that's really good. That's something that someone who hasn't used AI can do. They can check out Triplet, a very good tool. They can check out Lovable, Bot, and then also just watch some hints about how to interact with those tools.
Yeah, and you've brought in so now we can even see that within 15 minutes, we're able to build something that would take a lot of hours for one person to build on their own, and months, yes. And then a lot of people now are like playing the game and enjoying it, and then it's same to the purpose there. So I feel like a lot of people now can see that there's a lot of automation that you can bring on board just using AI. Yeah, within a task that takes you a lot of time, headaches, sleepless nights, you can just simply simplify it just like that.
Yeah, and it takes a team and all that, but the key is the prompt.
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to build without code, you need to be good at prompting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And whenever you have a prompt engineering course, I think we should also kind of share with our audience so that people can join in and also learn prompting, because prompting is very important. Yes.
Yeah.
Just like every writing skill is important. If you're writing an email, you need to know how to write an email.
Exactly.
If you are communicating with people on LinkedIn, you need to know the approach to take as you are communicating. So prompting is also another thing.
Yeah, I think you can even come up with a term like prompting etiquette. Like there's email etiquette.
Yes.
There's an emailing people, dear what,
Yes.
best regard. So yeah, even with prompting, I think it's some etiquette.
Yeah.
They will have the course on everything. Yeah, prompting etiquette.
Yes.
That thing basic thing you should know. Yeah. So okay, that's really good.
Yeah. So guys, so just before we close it up, I just want you to share your excitements and also even concerns, because you can't just be excited about agentic AI. There are also concerns. So what's something that is so concerning and you see in 3 years or even right now And also, what's the most exciting thing about agentic AI? I know that we've obviously covered this. Yeah, we're through the discussion. Yeah.
Oh, my fear is being left out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear, being left out in, the new electricity. I don't want my house, my family to be in the dark.
Still using candles.
Exactly, so my greatest fear with AI is not any harm.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I should think about that, but my greatest fear is just being left out.
Being left.
I know it's not. Yeah, one of my friends, Kondwame said, it's a good problem. AI is actually, when we had a conversation where, Elon Musk, has signed with the Pentagon. They're now implementing Grok in the military system. Then I asked him to say, like, but what do you think about this? Then he said, since the Pandora box has already been opened, yeah, why not also deploy like, agentic systems? It is Nyazama military. So he just had like a fun conversation around that. So basically, our fear is to be left out, and not, being part of the people building agentic systems. Whether we like it or not, look at Rwanda now.
Yeah.
They're really doing good with AI. Exactly. So yeah, my fear is being left out, and my excitement is all the opportunities that come with agentic AI and AI. Of course, there's so much opportunity. There's the term called buying back time.
Yes.
Exactly. Dr. Kuja mentioned that in all of the conversations that, like training that we had.
Yes.
So she said, how do you buy back time? So you buy back time with artificial intelligence. But it's good to all the time that has been wasted, you can buy it back now with AI. And another thing is, of course, as much as people can say, as much as people can say it's taking jobs, but it's a good problem. AI is not a bad problem. AI is actually a good problem. Yeah, so my another excitement is just basically, I give you this analogy of a farmer, right? Think of a farmer who's, a long time ago, farmers would basically, should I say, till the land.
Yes.
Imagine you've got like 20 acres of land. You'd have to till the land and have, I don't know, I'm not really good in logistics, but have maybe a lot of farmers like me on ground. But look at when a tractor came, all you need is one person.
So to drive the truck.
Exactly. So you need one person that can just drive a tractor. So what does that do? It buys back time, saves labor, and those farmers now that are on ground can now focus on learning other skills. Exactly. And improving the economy. So people will say, we're losing our jobs. No, you don't want to leak. So attain more skills and then let the tractor do the work. I don't see anyone competing with the tractor now.
No.
Exactly.
Because it's the same. The tractor needs a driver. It don't need a mechanic for maintenance.
See?
So
that's a whole new industry. So
yeah,
become a mechanic.
Yes, become a mechanic.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that would be, that's my biggest excitement. There's me.
I love what you've said right now. So I've also been thinking about it, being left out, because if you choose not to adapt and evolve, it means the only thing that is left is you being extinct.
Exactly.
Because no one will need you at your workplace, because you can't. And also just open up your mind. The way we've spoken about tractors, the moment you hear that, okay, our boss is bringing a tractor on the farm, settling out.
Exactly.
Right.
Settling out to drive it. Yeah, but it's fun to be lazy. And then another thing is, why we don't have dinosaurs right now? Yes. Because they refuse to evolve. They're going to evolve. But humans always evolve.
Humans.
Because they body extinct. Yeah. Yes. So if you don't evolve, you get extinct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really good. Yeah. Start to evolve as technology increases and as we have the age of artificial intelligence. Yeah. So really, please just evolve and learn with everyone as we move towards the new age.
And you can't deny change.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You can't deny change. Like you say, this electricity of today, we already have electricity. We've got issues with this color, but
it's crazy times.
But who doesn't need electricity right now? Would you choose to just live in a house that's not connected to the power grid? Yeah. And
then just maybe one note. With AI, it's not really replacing jobs. It's just transforming how people work. I'll give you an example. I had a conversation with one of we can call him one of our clients, but I don't mention where they're from, but they're one of our clients from Europe. So basically what they said with the company is that they're not planning to replace anyone's job. They're going to shift roles. So now if they can have an AI system doing customer service, what does that mean? It means that the human now becomes a quality assurance expert.
Okay.
So from talking to clients, now we are verifying what the AI is giving to clients. So you're a quality assurance expert. So you got an upgrade, man. Be happy about it.
It's the same.
Yes.
It's the same thing what they say about programming. Now there's debugging opportunities that are there, because you are writing code with AI. Now you need to identify some of the little bugs that are there, but also AI can help you identify those. But you need But you are just reducing your work in that process. Yeah.
And then you can now focus on, DevOps. People, especially if you look at tech, like if you look at development, people think AI is just writing code. Who said AI is deploying at the moment? Of course, you do eventually.
But
it's
not.
Yeah, but right now it's not. So you need people in DevOps. It's a whole process. You need people to manage infrastructure. You need people to, manage servers. And do maintenance. So AI is just assisting the writing of the code. I don't want to write code anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have AI, 10x write code for me, faster than it would. Then I'll focus on, implementing elsewhere.
And something else, before the podcast, we started recording, we talked about, you mentioned having a background in business. And one of the things that I thought of was a lot of people who are in development like the business. So if you can now focus on selling the products actually, and you'll put less attention on building the skill to write code and focus on, okay, if AI can help me to code with my basic knowledge that I have and I'm using AI, I'm able to build a very good product. So now, how do I learn how to sell that product?
Exactly.
It's all about evolution.
And buying back time. So you
Yes.
have more time in your hands to, focus on business aspect, and then, things. Of course, you can build the best product.
Yes.
That if you've got the worst marketing team, trust me, you're not selling anything.
Yes.
Your product will be for you and, your family at home.
And that's a situation with a lot of developers right now, if I'm being honest, because I'm part of developer communities. You see very talented people, like they are working day and night building things that they don't sell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's another thing we do at everything online. We've got trainings on sales and marketing,
Yeah.
whatnot. So yeah. So you just learn more on business. Yeah, the business aspect of things.
Okay. Any last thoughts, Simon?
I think it's been a good conversation. I do not have. I think he needs to come back again.
Yeah.
I think he needs to come back again. This one has been sort of cut short. I think this is an episode that was maybe supposed to be like 3 hours.
Yes.
But then because of time, we just need to. So take this as something that is, on the surface. He'll be back with something deeper, and we will pick something out and we'll discuss that thing in detail next time he's back. Yeah. Otherwise, I've learned a lot myself. I hope you too.
Recorded.
Yeah, I hope you have also. And if you do want to learn more, we've put the contact details. You just reach out to Everything AI with the contact details in the description there. Thank you so much. That's it from me.
Any last word, Kateule?
Yeah, for me, thanks for having me. It's been a great show. Subscribe to the podcast. Really great stuff. They're sharing so much knowledge here. There's so much value, so much experts coming in. Yeah, I just urge you to subscribe to the podcast. Keep learning, keep growing. Let's grow Zambia. Let's not be left out.
Yes.
Let's really do as much as we can to actually grow and put Zambia kuchalo, as you say. So let's also do it in AI. Not just in music, but let's do it in AI as well. And then another thing that I would say is the people who are winning in AI are not the people with the biggest models.
Yes.
It's people with the smartest models. So yeah, quoting one of my colleagues. Yeah, so it's the people with the smartest models that are winning. And also AI is a general purpose technology like electricity. So you can't do away with it. Let's just keep learning, keep improving, and reach out to experts if you need help.
Yes. And thank you very much for coming through. And
It was a pleasure.
I love how you are just less technical in this episode. Yeah, you're communicating to an everyday person.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think this is something that you can also say if you reach out to Everything AI, they are going to explain it on your level, at least like make you understand what Agentic AI is and how to implement AI workflows. So just make sure that you reach out to them. Yeah, and thank you very much for making them to share knowledge with us and with our audience. We are very much grateful, and we hope, like Simon said, we hope to see you again. Although I know that you are now becoming very busy and obviously bouncing up and down.
You will see me in a short while.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to come back. It's great, great energy.
Yeah.
I really love to share knowledge and just to discuss and talk more about AI. So yeah, let's really empower Zambia with artificial intelligence. Let's empower Africa. Let's not be in the dark.
Yes, let's not be in the dark. Turn on your light, please, with AI. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave comments. We love interactions. I'm sure even Kateule, if there's any question that's targeted at him, we'll be able to even respond through in the comment section so that we just keep on interacting and sharing information. Thank you very much for joining us. Bye.